I think that I don't know if DS9 even did this. I think this is an episode that DS9 could have done, and I think they kind of did it with the Jem'Hadar kid episode, where Odo finds a young Jem'Hadar and tries to convince him to like turn his back on the founders and stuff like that, and he fails at it. I know they don't want to rip off DS9, but to me it just shows the difference between the shows, where I feel like DS9 understands the point of what this type of interaction was supposed to be. Like to show, it shows you a weakness in Odo's thinking, that Odo is trying desperately to prove that he is not alone and that he can convince other Dominion members to not go along with what the idea is. He doesn't want to be alone. He wants someone else to come with him and think like him.
Yeah.
And he ultimately fails at it. Hatchery kind of feels like it should have been that point. But I guess they're bound because it seems obvious at this point that the series arc is going to end with befriending the Xindi, right? So you can't have this sort of antagonistic, like, well, the Xindi are they're just off their rockers. Like, there's no convincing these guys, you know?
Yeah, I don't think that's the angle to go with this, because the difference is. In Deep Space Nine, that episode was about getting through to one Jem'Hadar so that Jem'Hadar could then get through to the other ones. This one is more about showing the Xindi that the humans are not the monsters that they claim to be. And the problem with this episode is there's no way to relay that message. Because that's the message means nothing unless the Xindi get the message,
right?
And so
it's also a fake message from Archer. It was never like. Does he ever bring that up before he gets sprayed? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the spray just completely ruins everything. Because like if you want to go for the ethical thing, it's like, okay, that's fine, but you have to. That's why I was saying like there needs to be some more reasonable like pressure or time constraint or something, because. Unless the Xindi get the message, then it's not worth anything, right? It's what are they going to leave a note in the birthing chamber?
That's what they would have to do. They'd save the eggs and leave a note saying like the Enterprise was here. We're not all that bad, you know.
Right, like that's they're not going to do that. That's ridiculous. So it's like there's no method of relaying whatever it is that they're doing back to the Xindi to prove the point that they're trying to prove. Yeah. So ultimately, this kind of story just doesn't work. Because that's why I think they end up having to make it some sort of like mind craziness thing. Because otherwise, if you're trying to be sincere about it, there's no situation where even if they save these kids and they're like, okay, great, we saved the kids, let's get out of here. They can't tell the Xindi they did it. Right. Because they're trying to sneak up on the Xindi to blow up their weapon.
But that in some ways, that feels Star Trek-y. Right, like Archer and the crew do the right thing that no one is going to know about, but they do it because doing it would be the right thing in that situation. You know, I think there's actually
also, you could make
tragedy
that argument.
to that.
Yeah, that could be interesting. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.